All right, let's jump right into this explainer. If you've ever fired up an ASMR channel to unwind after a crazy long day, you instantly know the vibe, right? You've got a super soft voice, a perfectly quiet room, gentle camera angles, and those slow, deliberate hand movements. It all looks and feels so incredibly effortless. But today, we're actually going to peek behind the microphone. We're diving into a fascinating, kind of hidden side of digital wellness that honestly rarely gets talked about. And it really comes down to this core disconnect. On one hand, you, the viewer, are experiencing pure, unadulterated rest. But on the exact opposite side of that screen, the creator is performing highly focused, high-pressure labor while trying to look completely and totally calm. That sharp contrast right there, between the deep relaxation you're feeling and the intense, intentional labor they're putting in, well, that is exactly where the risk of burnout begins.
Section 1. The cost of calm.
So burnout is something we usually associate with hospitals, schools, or high-octane corporate offices, right? But it actually emerges anywhere that demands stay critically high while recovery stays low. Based on 2016 research by Maslach and Leiter, burnout is defined as a pattern involving exhaustion, deep cynicism, and a reduced sense of effectiveness in response to chronic workplace stress. And what's wild is that this exact same psychological pattern happens right in the business of crafting calm.
Because think about it. For an ASMR creator, the demand isn't just about churning out a video upload. The demand is the emotional tone itself. We're talking softness, calm, and nervous system safety. An ASMR creator literally cannot show up to work tired, loud, or impatient because their actual product is comfort. The performance they are delivering is nervous system safety for their audience. And maintaining that perfect illusion of peace, that takes a massive, massive amount of energy.
Which brings us to Section 2, Understanding Emotional Labor.
Emotional labor is formally defined as the work of managing your own feelings and expressions to meet the needs of a specific role. It's kind of like a flight attendant who has to smile pleasantly through a terrifyingly turbulent flight, or a therapist holding a really steady, grounded presence for a distressed client. An ASMR creator has to whisper absolute comfort to you, even on days when they personally feel anxious, totally exhausted, or just empty inside. They are actively regulating their own emotional state just to help regulate yours.
All right, Section 3, Algorithms and Parasocial Pressures.
Now, digital creators are already squeezed incredibly tight by unstable income and relentless visibility demands. You've got constant platform changes, massive algorithm pressure, exhausting self-branding demands, and completely blurred boundaries between their personal life and their work. Researchers Duffy and Wissinger have noted that these pressures are just immense, and researcher Sophie Bishop points out that platform labor heavily worsens these burdens. Essentially, the digital system forces these creators to stay highly visible and constantly producing just to survive in the creator economy.
And this creates this wild, double-edged sword when it comes to viewer intimacy. Viewers use this content to regulate their moods, leaving comments like, "You helped me sleep, your videos got me through a hard week, I feel less alone." Now those comments are beautiful, for sure, but they can create this crushing parasocial pressure. When an audience arrives lonely or sleepless, the creator literally becomes part of their coping routine. It makes creators feel like taking a much-needed break is an actual betrayal to distressed fans who rely on them. And then you stack the unseen physical strain of quiet recording heavily on top of a demanding algorithm. So, on one side, you have physical demands, like strict voice control, super long edits, and late-night production just to avoid daytime background noise. And that clashes directly with algorithmic demands for absolute consistency, high retention metrics, and click-through rates. These relaxing, calm videos still have to compete in a hyper-competitive, fast-paced digital economy that completely ignores the human nervous system behind the upload schedule.
Let's move to Section 4, Signs of Creator Burnout. So we're not just talking about having a bad day here. These are serious, clinical signs of occupational burnout, proving that ASMR creators are workers and artists with real human limits. A burnt-out creator might actually start to dread recording. They might feel emotional numbness while making their comfort content, or avoid their comments section entirely because the emotional load is just way too high. They often feel trapped by the specific trigger styles that made them popular. They lose their own personal enjoyment of ASMR. And worst of all, they feel this crushing guilt over simply needing to rest.
So how do we fix this? Section 5, Building Sustainable ASMR Boundaries.
As viewers, we can actively help out here. The biggest thing to remember is that comments aren't therapy appointments, and creator rest is about sustainability, not selfishness. First off, we need to normalize breaks.
If a creator pauses, it is not a betrayal. Second, respect boundaries. A creator can care about you without being personally responsible for your mental health. Third, avoid demanding private access to them. And fourth, let's all support responsible content. Channels that offer comfort, sure, but also encourage professional support when it's truly needed.
And hey, if there are any creators watching this explainer right now, putting these structural boundaries in place is absolutely vital to surviving the internet's endless demand for your comforting presence. Things like batch recording can radically reduce your daily pressure. Using comment filters protects your attention. Setting really clear upload schedules prevents that feeling of endless obligation. Voice care matters, and prioritizing your off-camera life absolutely matters. Taking breaks before you collapse is essential. Your audience might never see these boundaries, but they are exactly what make your calm possible in the first place.
Ultimately, consuming digital wellness with gratitude means we always have to recognize the actual human beings sitting behind that calming voice. Because the goal here is not less ASMR. The goal is sustainable ASMR. Someone out there made deliberate choices about sound, editing, pacing, framing, and emotional tone just to bring you peace. Creators should never have to burn out just to help other people relax. And viewers shouldn't have to lose their favorite comfort voices just because the internet demanded constant calm from people who also desperately needed care.
Because at the end of the day, healthy ASMR protects everyone. It allows viewers to find rest, and it allows creators to find recovery. So as we wrap up this explainer, I'm going to leave you to reflect on this final question. What is one healthy boundary that ASMR creators should be allowed to have? Really think about how you interact with your favorite digital spaces and how we can all foster a more sustainable, compassionate internet. Thanks for learning with me today.